Good morning and welcome to the Whiteside Family Association. Our guest today is Chip Whiteside, former president in finance and membership coordinator. Good morning, Chip. How are you today?
I'm doing great today. It's cooler than it has been. It's not 100 degrees yet.
And you're located in
We're in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Carolina. So,
Right on the we just moved. We lived at Wrightsville Beach on the Strand on the Barrier Island, and it's getting too crazy and crowded out there. So us old people have downsized to a land house, and we're in the woods. There's nothing but woods around.
very nice.
And there are hardly any neighbors. And before we were on sand with neighbors like you could reach over and touch them.
Yeah. But, so let me ask you, how did you get started? And I know that you inherited something from your dad. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So my dad, I didn't even realize he was into genealogy, while he was living until the very end. But he gave my sister and I a little genealogy book, and his tree is I've added very little except details to the tree, but he had everybody that Jim Whiteside's. We're 3,400. Neither one of us can find anybody past what my dad had. But the interesting thing was that so I was learning genealogy from him, and I've been doing it for a good little bit of time. And I ran into the WFA website, and that obviously is a rich source of all our Whiteside stuff. And I was flipping through there, and York County, South Carolina is my home. And so I was looking in there, and all of a sudden I see that Don Whiteside said thank my father for helping him find tombstones in a cemetery in York County. So that got me really into the WFA. And I've been pretty active, with it since. It's
So
been good.
you
It's
and
a
your,
good.
you and your wife have both been looking at your family history.
Yes, yes, yeah. We did a lot on hers because we didn't know her family history. So basically, I built her tree as well. My mother's side's even a bigger mystery. She's from Baltimore, and she told me her father died when she was 12 or 14, but no, he didn't die. But when you came south, being divorced was not a good thing back in the day. And I'm sure my grandmother in South Carolina said, just tell him he's dead. So, but that family's been very difficult to track down. But I've traced them back pretty far, back to the 1700s even.
So
But
that's
anyway,
a little family
that's a
secret.
different, but that's a different side of the family.
That's a little family secret on that side.
That's the entertaining side of the family. The
And
Whitesides, the Whitesides are pretty straightforward.
so you came across the Whiteside Family Association, and you knew there was contacts between your dad and Don Whiteside. So
Yes.
so how did you connect the two?
I was just going through because my wife and I are very interested in we clean headstones in cemeteries. So I'm really interested in cemetery stuff, and that's what this. So I was looking at the cemeteries in York County, and at the very end is this little annotation about Don, thanking my father for, helping to get those stones lined up. I imagine he was in York County. I guess I'm not sure, but I'm sure he probably spent some time in South Carolina, since that's where a lot of the Whitesides came through that area where they went further west.
So when you got into the Whiteside Association, you got on board, I guess. You became a board member.
Yeah, yeah. Bill G put me on board member pretty quickly and said, "How about being president?" so, so I said, "Okay." I don't know how this is going to work, but that's been good.
Well,
But I've decided I need to move on to something else. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so I think in Jim Whiteside's is kind of but well, everybody's kind of fatiguing out a bit, but Jim's probably the most fatigued out. And so I decided to go ahead and move into the membership part to give him a break.
You have a favorite hobby with the mapping of the white side. So let's talk about that, and we could share some of the screen here on mapping.
Yeah. You want me to go ahead and move it
Yeah,
over?
yeah, I got it over here.
Okay. You got it paused. You pause it or something.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Trying to figure out where to get it. There we go. Let me just pull it up here.
Yeah,
So how do I minimize you here? Let's see.
just go sideways there.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. Remember we minimized it. I didn't know you could do that. What if you can move it around? Yeah, but it may not work. Okay. Yeah, let's show a picture first though.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is works pretty good. So the reason I got into mapping, I've mapped some membership stuff for other organizations before. I like Google Maps. I'm kind of a visual person. But anyway, I was looking at Don's charts, and he really has very detailed geography where people, where they were born, where they moved to, where they worked, where they died. He has an occupation on there. So I thought it'd be nice just to visualize these trees. I think Don liked to draw, so I kind of like drawing on a computer with mapping. So let me go to another one. I can kind of just show. Go to the maps again.
Hold on one second here. Something.
Yeah,
Okay, go.
I just flipped it.
Okay.
See if I can get to this link.
All right. Very good. So what's
So
so what's
yeah,
this tell us here?
so this is 3400. So this is Gemini's uh tree basically. And I guess let me let me get the dots off. So okay, so this is my side of 3400 Thomas 1758. Let's see if I can make sure none of Jim's things are on here. Yeah. So there's a lot of people. And then you can actually can put the lines in. It's got a little menu. So if you ever want to play with the maps on that link, you can click on and off the lines and the people. Because it gets pretty hairy as you add stuff. And these are the lines. So these are all my side of 3400. You see, you still get a tremendous amount of, as you zoom in, it clears and stuff, but you still have a tremendous amount. This is this is Smyrna, South Carolina. It's a cemetery in York County.
Yep.
It's full of Whitesides. Remember the first time my wife and I went in that cemetery? It's a little teeny place, but there's nothing but Whitesides, and they're all shit. Your whole family's lined up in a line here. And then and I don't even know where Tom is. He's in here somewhere. But anyway, you kind of get the idea. It's you can cut and edit this as you feel necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go up there. So I can take Thomas out. Take Thomas's lines. And John is, these are Jim's family.
Hmm.
We can see we're all, there's just Whitesides everywhere. And then there was another brother, Major, and there's another one we don't, there's a fourth one that there's controversy, the fourth brother. But they don't know the dad of these people. So that's our brick wall that nobody can get by. At least not yet. And uh here's Jim's lines to all his people.
Hmm.
Let me go back.
So do you have lines coming from England or Ireland over that to there?
Yeah, I'm moving toward that. So then I've done, so this is Y DNA here. I can go to that link.
And can you explain that a little bit to YDNA?
Yeah, so here's my link. I think I just took a screenshot on that one. But you get the idea there and blow it up some. So Y-DNA is the male, it's X and Y, Y being the male one. So if you're XY, you're a guy, XX, you're a female. So if you just follow Y, you follow your direct male line, which is very helpful because you can see you get lots less data points. So when you're trying to look at connections between the families, it's a lot cleaner way to look at it. Plus, it's a cleaner way to look at your own line. I mean, you get rid of you're getting rid of the women, but you see more definition, and there's so fewer points. I wish I had that one. I think don't have that one. Ah, and not to leave the ladies out. So for our family tree DNA group project, I don't know if it's going to load up. I've actually mapped out the maternal DNA. So this is the mitochondrial that's passed directly down the female line. And you can see
Is
this is
this just for the 3400 family right here?
no. So this is all no. This is way more. This is every female in our DNA project that's done mitochondrial DNA. This is straight. This is straight from family tree DNA. The data that I plotted is from family tree DNA. But it's kind of cool. And the nice thing, I think we can use the maternal DNA to do the connections as well, because, you can follow the female line up. And so if you know kind of where you're looking, you can go straight up one of these trees and try to figure out, where the brick wall might be, where it might help you see where they live and that kind of stuff. And I think most of these are I think they're all cemetery spots. Some of them might not be. I hadn't looked back at it. It's been a while since I've done it.
How many DNA connections do you have on this map here, do you think?
Of people,
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're probably, I have one with the big Y for the, the guys, Whiteside's guys, and I only did big Y. And I think we only have not that many of them, maybe 20 or 30, like that. There's I probably have, probably there's 40 women, 40s or so women who've done the maternal DNA. and obviously their last name, their surnames are all, a lot different. They change, the surname changes every generation down. So it's kind of interesting to watch names go by.
And how can you make a link between this and Y-DNA?
No.
No.
Well, you could take, well, it's like mine. I can take my family. I can take go up my mother's tree, and you could just make a totally Y and a maternal DNA. So eventually that's what you do. You do it for all the people in the group. You just do both trees, and I guess you could hook them all together in one tree. We talked about the TNG thing, and some of the DNA projects use it, and they'll just have their trees are all based on DNA.
Mhm.
So there are ways of doing it. And then you can probably you can probably find some connections you don't know. I found connections in my family I didn't even know existed, through my mother's line,
Mhm.
because I have her paternal DNA.
Yeah. You also work with African American Whitesides. Could you tell us about that?
Yes. Yes. I don't know if I have. Yeah. So there's one of our members has a great tree, Whitsits, and he's from the enslaved side of that family in North Carolina. And he's I think he's done a DNA, and then I think his cousin also. And I don't know if I have that. I have to go to my maps to find it, but go back. But you can see, I don't remember who this one is, but we all come from Africa. So it's just a matter of where your branch point starts. So probably if you're here, you're probably African American or black, but you don't know. But it's pretty fascinating stuff. And the cool thing, I don't know if I can do it here. The cool thing you can put on Google Earth, and it rotates around, and you can zoom in on the actual satellite views of the cemeteries. So there's all kind of neat little visual tricks you can do with all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
How long did it take you to do this?
it doesn't take that long. I mean, it's tedious, but it didn't really take that long. Come on, I've been with the WFA for a couple of maybe 3 years, I guess. And 3 years. I'll tell you what's tedious is my current project, which is thank goodness I got to know just by correspondence Bill R. Whiteside. When Bill R. left, it's taken me a long time just to transfer the files. I don't know. There are files, like each folder has like 30,000 files in it. I'm sure it's probably a terabyte of data. And it took me a while to figure out what he was doing. And I said, I'll do the first one, now work my way down. But what happened was he was updating his files once a year. So if I just gone to the last one, everything would have been in there because he didn't delete anything.
Hmm.
And he has these WPS files that I'm not sure what that, I don't know if it's it's some kind of old word program. So I had to get a converter to convert those files to Word or something like that, or PDFs.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all convertible. But it's a huge amount of information.
So those, Bill R. Whiteside, he's a researcher from Where was he from?
I don't even know. Was he Illinois, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Because
So,
we just did email, so I don't know it. There was
but he
no
was a
real.
researcher for a long time,
Yes, he was,
and
and
he
he
probably
actually
had
and he
30 years
compiled.
of data, right?
Yes, and he compiled his files are really amazing because and I think he tried to get all Don's work and Foster Clay's work, so it's probably a combination of everything he could find. I mean, he calls it WFA genealogy, all his updates. So that'll be good to look at. But and I've looked at my own family, and it's some fascinating stuff. And he was really interested in all races and gender. So he had a big focus, getting not just having us old white guys, genealogy stuff.
So well, we mentioned these names, Bill R. Whiteside, Foster Clay, and Don Whiteside. Those are the three main researchers from years ago that collected information.
Yeah,
So,
and I think you worked with all those guys, right?
yeah, yes, I did. Yeah. Well,
Because
Foster Clay, but I worked with Bill R. Anyways.
yeah, I've seen your name. I've seen your name in some of the files, some of your correspondence.
Yes,
In
correspondence.
fact,
Yes.
we're probably gonna have to go through them and find out which files we can put out to the public and which we keep private.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, there's so much research that we could talk about in so many families that came from Ireland, that came from England, that landed in Virginia, that got land, that started off in the 1700s.
Mhm.
There's so much information there that we could share, and that's the thing that we're we're a library, we're a live library of information for the public. So uh,
Right.
let's explain. Maybe you could explain a little bit about Allen County and the library there.
Yeah, I've never been there. Someplace I want to go at some point. But that's the repository for all Don's work. I understand. I'm sure he has scattered things here and there, but yeah, I would love to go there just to see what's not, you know, not in an electronic file. And I don't know how you would even like cross check because I'm sure it must be a tremendous amount of information. So, but
You
it'd be nice just to go see and
Yeah,
I pity I think Bill G and Nancy are at the going through Foster Clay's at the warehouse.
yes. Well, I know that Don Whiteside's got deposits at the Library of Congress. He does have something at the Ottawa Library,
Hmm.
and he has information in Alberta at the library there in Edmonton.
Hmm.
So he's made deposits as he traveled, and he
Hmm.
sent it to different libraries. Um, I know that over the years that he's left stuff, and it's accessible to the public. But we have to be able to share that, and one of the
Yes.
things that we talked about is sharing like this, but we also talk on Facebook, right? We have a Facebook group.
Right. 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 Yeah, they're really important. And I was pretty active on there till this year, and then we decided to sell our house and move. That's been traumatic. So I haven't done hardly anything with Facebook or I've done a little bit of DNA stuff, but yeah, I think Facebook's huge, and it's good just as on its own. But also is a nice way to get people to join the WFA and get into some serious research. I think so. I'm sure it's a source of a lot of our members now.
What would you say to members on Facebook about the WFA, how to join and stuff?
Um, Yeah, I think if you want some get the details on the Whiteside family, it's the top place to go. I mean, there's no other website that's got what that website has. I mean, it's loaded with information.
Talking about the website, you've been involved in that with Arliss.
Right.
And Arliss has been working on that for a few years. I worked on that for a few years back too.
Right.
Uh, so let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, because and you know, we had a problem this weekend with the website. Actually, it's probably been going on for a while, and somebody couldn't log in, and Arliss had to go in and fix it. Plus, it's not like the blog part. The blog, you have to really look for where the blog is and click on it, because all these things that I just showed are on that blog. But you have to go look for it. So I think we want to move to WordPress because I think it's a more user friendly on both users on the inside and outside um, than Joomla. Joomla apparently has great detail, but I think it's kind of waning as in popularity as well. I think WordPress is pretty much like the go-to website. So we're planning on moving our website at some point. Probably not too distant. We keep pushing it out because Arliss says I'm not. You guys have to take the lead on this, and I have to. I have to get. I think we both have to make sure we're ready to do this because we don't want it to crash. But we have saved all the files on the website are saved. So we've already downloaded those, and those I sent those to you. Well, was it UPS or something? Didn't work. It took a while. And then I have another disk here. So we actually have, and Arliss has, so we have like 3 backups of the website. So I think we're pretty safe to move. But so people should look forward to that coming up. I think it'll be more entertaining because we'll have your YouTube thing going there, and we'll
let's
make it fun.
let's talk about the number system. And I understand it fairly well, but maybe you could explain a little bit about the number system.
You can probably explain it better than I can.
Well,
Because
it's
I'm looking at
when it comes from somebody else.
yeah, I'm looking at Bill R's thing. So yeah, I'm looking all the. I was starting in 2012, and now I'm up to 2019. So he was still doing things just a couple of years ago, fortunately. So that's pretty up to date. But anyway, the family number thing. So back in 2012, there weren't that many numbers. So now I've got like probably another 100 files of family numbers. So yeah, I really don't understand. I know that it starts and it's supposed to show the distinction from England, I guess. Here, and then you spread out and your number gets bigger as you get further from the main line of family. But
Well, it's kind of funny because we talking about numbers and uh, like numbers that came to Canada and the United States, and uh, I can make a link when I look at the research. I can make a link to certain parts of the country, like England and in Ireland,
Mhm.
and you could go back to county of Cavan in Ireland and see a family there that came over, and parts of Lancashire, England, that came over to Canada. And the numbers start pretty simple, 0001, and you're at all of a sudden you're at 10,000. But and all the numbers in between, right? So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
So it's a number, then you add a number each generation. Is it generational
Oh
or is
no,
it
by family. So the number of for example, 7,500 is got all the names of everybody that's in that family, or
right?
6,900 or
Right.
4,700, for example.
But how
So,
they come up with the number? What was before 7,500? Anything
well,
or
well,
no?
on assigned numbers as he went along. So,
Yeah. Right.
so he
Right.
started at family 2,000, for example. Then he's got 2,200. He's
Yeah.
got another family. So, and I came to the logic that most families in the family 4,000 are connected somehow. So you got the family 4,000, 4,700, and the
Mm-hmm.
families in
Mm-hmm.
75, 7,000 are connected somehow, like,
I got you. So the 7,000, the series 7,000 are connected. Gotcha.
yeah.
Got
So there seems to be a connection between all those, like,
right.
and then we get a
And
page
I
like
think we,
you get a
yeah, I
page
think,
like Virginia, page 128, for example, and it shows you a bunch of families on that page, and they seem to be all connected because of the numbers are all on there, right?
yeah, I think I remember now seeing like there's a 3,300, I think. So
Yes.
they must think that 33 and 3,400 are close.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
there's some definite,
he didn't have DNA to go to link back then. So I think he
right.
came to the
Just guess.
assumption that
Right. You just guess.
somewhere, yeah, yeah,
The educated guess. And
yeah.
they're probably good. He probably is pretty close to with all he did to figure out how close things are.
Well,
But
we
I think the DNA will be the way to clear things up.
yeah, and also that we came to the assumption that Don's work is correct until it's proven
Right,
wrong.
right. She
So,
should. Right,
we're assuming that it's perfectly correct until somebody comes up with information
right.
that it shows that it's wrong.
I
So,
think that's a good way to look at things.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we're coming into the end of our little video. Um, Anything for the Whitesides that you want to mention, or
I think that's about all I had on my stuff.
and then the membership is what, $15 US for or
Yeah, I think
$10
so.
US?
Yeah, yeah. And the membership's good, and it's just a little clunky to make sure everything goes down right. But I think the Facebook thing really helps us stay stronger.
Yeah.
And so, and my plan being with membership is I'm probably gonna, we have all their emails, and so I'm gonna try to start contacting people, just to see what they want, see if there's some other features they'd like to see, but I need to get this house fixed and then and get Bill R stuff out of the way.
Okay. Well,
So that's probably gonna take this year, probably.
well, thank you very much, Chip, for participating on our YouTube video today. And
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan, for doing this. This is pretty cool.
okay, very good. So
Okay. You
we'll
get
talk
the
to you.
interview. I get to interview you sometime.
Well, maybe talk to you later.
All right, later.